Here's how Chris Hayes saw Margaret Thatcher's days in office.
Here are just some of the hallmarks of Margaret Thatcher's 11-year tenure as Britain's prime minister. Thatcher initially opposed economic sanctions against South Africa's apartheid government. She referred to Nelson Mandela's African National Congress as a, quote, typical terrorist organization. When Chilean dictator Augusto Pinochet was arrested for war crimes, including the widespread capture, torture, and murder of political dissidents, she called for his release, and he eventually served house arrest in London.
Okay, so that's foreign policy. So maybe she was a maniac. Okay, so maybe she
made a few mistakes.
Maybe
Bad
she called
calls.
Nelson Mandela a terrorist. Anybody could have misread that situation, right? What about domestic policy? How did she treat the unemployed? That's the important thing. Let's see.
Okay.
On the domestic front, Thatcher's victory ushered in policies that lowered inflation but sent the unemployment rate past 10% for a grinding, miserable 5.5 years. As former London Mayor Kane Livingstone put it, she decided when she wrote off our manufacturing industry that she could live with 2 or 3 million unemployed.
Okay, so she wasn't so good with the unemployed.
Not so good.
Not so good with them. But how did she do with the children? I bet she was good for kids. Let's play the next.
Even as the economy improved, it came with immediate and long-term costs. Child poverty rose, with nearly 1/3 of children living in poverty by the time she left office.
Okay, so that was bad too. So
I
the
don't like the
unemployed,
sound of that.
she's not good on the foreign policy, the unemployment, or the kids' poverty.
No.
But maybe she's good with how about the taxes and the poor, right? Maybe she's good with that. Let's see.
Thatcher's tax policy shifted the burden from the wealthy to those at the bottom, reaching its most audacious peak with a 1990 poll tax, which was so severe on the poor to the benefit of the wealthy, there were widespread riots. It was replaced within a year after Thatcher's resignation.
Okay, so she shifted the taxes to the poor. All right, so she was bad on the taxes, unemployment, child poverty, foreign policy. But maybe what about the government services? Like, how about the health care that the government provides and water and all that? How did she do with that stuff?
Recent documents show Thatcher was scheming to privatize the National Health Service, which is a beloved and popular institution that has provided universal health care for Brits, regardless of means or class, since the end of World War II, and may well be one of the great hallmarks of Western social democracy. But in the face of popular opposition, she retreated from plans to privatize the water industry and the National Health Service, replace college grants with a student loan program, cut back pensions, and revamp the Social Security system.
Okay, so she didn't do that good on that either. Okay, so what about, let's switch to social issues. How about, was she good with the gays? I think she was sticking up for the gays. Let's see.
Thatcher supported Section 28, which said local authorities shall not promote the teaching in any maintained school of the acceptability of homosexuality as a pretended family relationship.
Wow. She's kind of a bitch.
Okay, it sounds like she's not what Chris Matthews would have me believe she is. I was all worked up about
Jimmy,
her.
I'm disappointed.
I wanted to love her, Steve. You know me, I wanted to love her. But maybe she, you know what I think? All that, though, I think she did have the ability to bring people together as one community. Let's see.
Let's hope so.
Thatcher once said, "There is no such thing as society. There are individual men and women, there are families, and no government can do anything except through people, and people must look to themselves first."
Okay, so it doesn't look good for Margaret Thatcher, but how would you sum it up? I'm sure there's something good to sum up. I mean, the eventual legacy is probably, there's got to be some good, right?
We live now, still today, on the Reagan-Thatcher axis. Their legacies reaching forward through the years in their shared contempt for egalitarianism, they both bequeathed massive inequality. Today, decades after they left office, if you compare inequality across industrialized nations, England and the U.S. are at the top, also sharing the least amount of social mobility. This is the society that Thatcher and Reagan gave us. Societies of shrinking middle classes and tremendously high levels of inequality. And if you do not like that vision, then you have little occasion to celebrate Margaret Thatcher today.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Hayes? Well, you just try to say that when Chris Matthews is in the room, and you're going to get a bloody lip, motherfucker. That's right.
And Hollywood's bad.
And Hollywood's bad.